This is the golden retriever. People make it different ways. I've had people give me ones that work really good and better. It's just I'm gonna use what I have for supplies here, and I kind of make it different in a couple different ways. You kind of make it whatever you want. I'm making this like a jig. I'm using actually a size 14 hook here, but it's a long shank here, or I think it's 2 times long. You can use a bigger hook, like I like to use size 12s and like long shanks or something, but I'm putting a big bead on there, so I wanted you to definitely see the fly, so the hook there. And then I put the big bead on there because that's a, what am I using here? A 4.6 millimeter or 3/16 golden bead. The golden retriever is just, you want to use it for fresh stocked rainbow trout is what it works the best for. And you want to jig it, so like you want to be like 1 2 3 on your strip, let it sink, 1 2 3. But this is just like a quick fly, or just bump it the whole time, like, a little bit at a time. This is just that kind of fly that the trout, especially the stocked rainbows, just love it. And you want the weight on it so that when you're pulling on it, it's doing this jig through the water. It's actually moving up and down. For thread, I'm just going to be using 6 weight red uni thread here, and let's get going. So you could go with a thinner red, but I'm just gonna stick with this for now. But the important thing about this fly is obviously like a big gold bead, and it's gonna have a red hot spot on it, which is a big deal. So let's get wrapping on it here, and I'm definitely gonna put enough on here to hold the hook. Hold the hook. What am I saying? I'm gonna put enough on there to wrap the hook part way here. And then you're going to use some marabou tan. If you can find a lighter tan color than this, they seem to do really better. My buddy's got this weird color, got that color, and it does great with it. So we're just going to use some marabou blood quills, and this is going to be to make the tail part of the fly, right? So nothing crazy here. I'm just going to grab this stuff, try to make it the size of the hook shank. Actually, this piece is pretty beat up. Let's get one that's got a little bit more finesse in the back of it here. Let's see what I got left here. This looks like a good one here. Get that out of there. Alright, so I'm going to take my marabou and then make it the size of the hook shank. We're a little bit less than that. That's about the hook shank. And then you can just do some loose wraps right here real quick. Get all the material up to the top as usual. Just kind of holding it there. You could also wrap back if you want on the fly and then start all this back there. I just like to wrap onto it like this. Alright, so now I know it's up top there. Or it was up top. Swing it back here. I'm going to have to hold it over here and pull tight on this. And you see everything trying to move, and that's what there you go. Now it's on there tight. And I'm pulling up with this marabou and towards me a little bit. And I'm not doing really that close spiral loops here on the thread. I'm actually keeping it, doesn't have to be really that crazy. And then I'm going to make sure that that's back there really good and looks good. Alright, I like that. That's a good looking marabou tail there. So we'll grab all this mess here and we'll cut this off as close as I can get to it. There we go. Get rid of that. And then, so the guy from Blog Flyfish he hooked me up with a really cool looking version of this golden retriever. And that thing just destroyed fish for me. I still have it. I don't even want to show it because it's just different, but I like the way he tied it. He tied it with like more of a white head up here and a bunch of red, but it worked really good. So I'm going to kind of copy a little bit what he did. And he had some kind of like laser dubbing or something that was in here that was kind of flashing around there. And instead of like making a dubbing noodle and doing all that stuff, which is like another step there, instead of doing that, I'm just going to try to get this loosely around part of the back of the shank of the fly here, so that I've got a little bit of this. I'm going to tease it out and kind of have it as this extra flash that's kind of in there. You'll see how I did here. So I'm gonna grab some ice dubbing there, ice brown olive, and then I'm gonna get that going. I'm actually not going, usually I'd be like, oh, you gotta make it really tight and all that. No, I'm putting this on loose. I'm just getting it wrapped around the thread here. Obviously I'm gonna pull it out with the Velcro strip after, but I just wanna get it on there kind of loose anyways. Because like I said, I'm not using a dubbing noodle or anything, so as you can see, it's just kind of getting on there nice and loose, but it's getting on the fly. Try to make it somewhat even here. But I kind of want it like that. See how it's just kind of flaring around everywhere? I kind of want that. I want to put a little bit more on there too. This is what fly tying is cool about. Just be creative. You don't have to do everything exactly the way. I mean, if you look up the golden retriever, it's probably not the way that everybody's making it, but I just really like it. Sometimes you take the dubbing and you can fold it like that. See how I just grabbed a chunk of it and then I folded it? Watch. Then I'll bring it up like this and then I can lock that in like that. And I didn't have to make a dubbing noodle. But look at that. I got a ton of dubbing sitting on my fly now. And I'm actually kind of just going to wrap it around that thread again. That's how I do egg veil and stuff too. I'm kind of sloppy about it, but it all ties down at the end here, and then I'm happy, and I can take out whatever I don't want. But see, I want all this kind of weird, thick, fuzzy, shiny dubbing stuff. I want that part of this fly because, man, it just does so much better on this. It does really well. So as you can see, I'm already building up pretty quick up to that bead. Now you know why we use a big bead hook, right? Bead hook, what am I saying? A bead head, sorry. So let's do so I've gone through a bunch of different Estas. This is Estas metallic. I've gone through a bunch of different ones like this. I've gone with that one. I've gone with this color, more like an opal, but it's smaller. See, like if you notice there, I want more of a bigger chunk of gold up front there. So I'm going to take this stuff. I didn't even take it out of the package, and I'm going to strip off everything until I get down to that bare thread, right? And then I'm going to put the bare thread up against this fly, and I'm going to get it tied into this fly right here. So there we go. I got nice 3 wraps on that thing right there. So now I know it's wrapped. And now I'm going to wrap, I guess we'll go in the opposite direction here. And I might try to pull these fibers back a little bit. Let's see what it looks like. Usually I have to like kind of just keep pulling them back like this as I go through it. I want a lot of gold on there, but I don't want it all sticking in the front. You get what I'm saying? So hopefully I can pinch down on it here a little bit. Ultimately I have to use my thread. But as you can see, I'm building up this golden head up there of this material. And that's really just an important part of this fly. Is having this gold Estas in there. And I'd say that's about good enough there. Let's see if I pull it back a little bit. Yeah, that's about where I want to be at. And now I'm going to do one. I'm just going to get that one back there. Go 1, 2, 3. Again, I don't build up behind the bead head because I wouldn't have had all the space to put all this crap in there. 1, 2, 3. Make sure that stuff's in there. We're nice and good. And then we'll cut that off without cutting everything else off. There we go. Definitely chopped too. No, I didn't. Okay. Now, you can leave it going in front of the bead head there, but I would say with flies, like you want to have the head, thorax, body, and then tail. This tail might be a little long actually, but the whole thing is though, I want to pull it back because I definitely want a difference up here. I want it to be seen that there's a big red. This big red part is really an important part of this fly, the red hot spot. And I'm going to build it up pretty thick behind the back of the head here. And I'm pulling everything back as much as I can, so it just all flows in one direction there. But I think this is definitely one of the most important parts because that's what it's about, is just getting the fish's attention with this hot spot. So I want to go about that thick, and I'm going to add some super glue real quick here. There we go. Whoop, too much. It went into the hook. No. I hate when it goes down into the actual fly bottom. That's not fun, but alright. So I'm just going to wrap it while it's got glue on it and get that glue in there. So I don't really have to worry about it on the whip finish. A little chunk on there, but that's okay. And now I'll just give it a really good whip finish. These flies, like, when you're catching on these flies, you're going to be catching on them. And they get destroyed pretty quickly. Just going to do 2 there because I see some of the stars coming forward, and I don't like that. But yeah, these things, like, man, they get destroyed because you just start catching a lot of fish on them usually. And yeah, this red part right here, it'll start to pop off, believe it or not. I think usually it's because I'm trying to get it out of the fish's mouth, and I think that's where I probably mess up the most on the when it starts to fall apart. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in there a couple good whips like this, whip finishes, so that if it does break off, it's got another layer to go to. So you might think it's a little thick right now, but that's my point. I'm making it so that if it breaks off, it's not the end of the day on this fly. I can still keep using it, and it'll look good and be fine. And that's it to this fly. And this is your golden retriever. I cut it off really nice and close here. I mean, if you want, I would just, because I got the space up there right now, I'm gonna actually cut out a little bit of that little piece there. There we go. And I'm just gonna hit it with a little bit of crazy glue here, because again, this fly, there we go, just that little bit, let it go down into the bead a little bit. And it's just because this fly can take a beating like there's no tomorrow. I was gonna hit that with my Velcro, which I'll hit really quick for a second, and I'll see. I don't really have to, I don't think, though. Let's see, we'll hit it a little bit. Let's see what happens here. Might make it too long, but no, it's okay. There we go. So see that kind of fluffiness under there? That just seems to really make this fly pop. And then yeah, so that's a golden retriever there for you. At least the way that I make it. So, and they're just deadly. Maybe I would have made the tail a little bit shorter on this one if I were to do anything, but I'd say that's about it. It's got everything, all the parts that it needs, and yeah, it'll do a lot of damage. It's a great fly. So good luck, guys.